and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jackverse. It has been way too long, and I sincerely apologize for this lapse in time. A lot of things have happened since I last spoke with you. One such thing is I'm now back to teaching. That's right, I'm teaching acting at the University of Louisville. And that is part of what I want to talk about. Not actually about the act of teaching or acting class or theater or anything like that, but how something from another realm, another artistic realm, could apply to the craft of writing. What I'm teaching in class is called the Meisner Technique, and it draws very much on behavior and instinct and imagination. Okay? The other night, I was working on my current work in progress, which is called Teenage Wasteland. It is a young adult spin-off of my iZombie series. And something very interesting happened while I was writing. I started writing, and I write very, very much from my gut, from instinct. So I'm what's called a pantser. I don't plot anything out. I just start writing and I go. And whatever the story needs to say, I let it happen. But the other night, something fascinating occurred. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and I reached my usual daily goal of words. And I closed my laptop and I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning and I thought, I have no idea what I wrote last night. I'm absolutely clueless as to where I took the story and what I did to those characters. And I thought all day, because I wanted to see if I could remember what I did without opening up the laptop and the file. And I couldn't do it. No matter how much of my gray matter I put to the process, I could not for the life of me remember what I wrote. And then it dawned on me that what I did the previous night was simply give in completely to my instincts and just wrote what came out of me. I let my fingers dance over the keyboards, and whatever my heart, my mind, and my soul wanted to put down into words, I let it happen. Now, I was very fortunate when I went back the next night to read what I had written that everything worked. And therein lieth the lesson. One of the key ideas of the Meisner Technique is that too many actors live in their head. They think too much, and that thought process gets in the way of the art. Because what happens is let's say, for example, you have a line that you were to say to your partner. And before you say that line, you internalize it, and you process it, and you think about it. And by the time all of that happens, when it comes out of your mouth, there's no instinct. There's no gut response. So the Meisner Technique would strip all that thought away from you and say, just respond. Now, we adults have been retrained to temper our responses and to fight our instincts. And what I'm saying is, as a writer, what you need to do is to stop. You need to just follow your gut and let your instinct take over and just let the words happen. Don't allow your intellect and your filters and all that jaded adult humanity get in the way of the creative process. So that you can have those nights where you write and 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 you write, and the next morning you're like, what did I write? I don't remember. You will find, I guarantee it, that something that you have written in that way will be gold. I'm not saying that every word that's come out of your face while you were writing so instinctually will be perfect. You'll probably delete a lot of it. But you'll be surprised at what your instincts will do, how they will guide you in your story. And in some cases, they will do a lot better job of dictating the plot. Now, I should warn you that it's not easy. When I started teaching this class, one of the first things out of my mouth was, you're not going to get this. It's hard. It is very hard. I studied it for 3 years. I studied the Meisner Technique for 3 years at Purdue University, ladies and gentlemen. And it wasn't until 2 years after I graduated that it finally sunk in. And I had that epiphany. It was like, aha. Or in the Jewish vernacular, aha. I got it. It sunk in, and I was able to let it take over and do its thing. So don't expect that tonight you as a writer are going to sit down in front of your laptop and just go, and that's going to turn out gold. It's probably going to be an exercise in frustration at first, but I have an exercise that will help you get through this a little better. Here's what you do. You take a pad of paper and a pencil or a pen, whatever. And don't do this on a keyboard because it's less effectual this way. Less effective. Effective. Why not? Take that pad of paper and that pen, go off somewhere in the woods or a parking lot or a closet or wherever it is that you like to go to be in your safe place. Put the pen down to paper and just start writing. It's called stream of consciousness. Don't stop. Just let the words flow. Do that for 10 minutes. Ready, set, go. I'm not going to sit here and wait for you to do that. You can do that on your own time. This is my time. I'm just kidding. Anyway, do that. Do that day 1, do that day 2. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it until you get the idea. Until those words just start flowing. This might not make sense. It's okay if it doesn't make sense. This is stream of consciousness. This is just you letting go of the filters and the jadedness and the intellectualization of all of this and let your conscious spill out of your brain through your hand onto paper. Okay? Once you've you're not going to master that, but once you've gotten the idea of that, then you could sit down at your work in progress and just go, okay, let's just see where we can take this. And you'll be surprised at what these little digits can do when they're not hindered by your intellect. You're a writer, right? You've already mastered the whole idea of, well, maybe not mastered, but you get words. They are your tool. You don't really have to intellectualize the writing of a sentence so much anymore, or you shouldn't. You should just be able to sit down and bleh. Do that. Next night, come back, reread it, cut out what doesn't work, rewrite what doesn't work, but understand that all of this, your heart and your mind and your soul and your craft and your fingers, past and your present, your future, are all working together. And when you trust that, what you will end up with will amaze you. Again, I'll warn you, it's not easy. But once you get the hang of it, you'll fall in love with it. You want to marry it, have its baby, and then divorce it, and then cheat on it with its homely little sister. I'm just kidding. I don't know why I said that. That instinct. Oh. So, give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. Just don't expect perfection. At least not at first. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me once again in the Jackverse. Do come back. I have such sights to show you. Moo. Ha.